So this is like the first episode of Interviewing Normal. Interviewing Normal is something we talked about uh, on your barber chair. Like,
Are you recording?
yeah,
Ah,
yeah. I mean,
ah,
honestly, I'm thinking about just like letting it continue to record and
okay.
start from wherever feels comfortable and all that stuff. But yeah, no, we started it. I talked about you were the first person I brought it up to about a year and a half ago, and I was like, "Oh, I think it's a good idea." Blah blah blah, and then I just dropped it. And I was
Yeah,
like, "I don't want to do this anymore." I was super nervous.
yeah.
Um,
Okay.
so yeah, and then like I said, like the concept is interviewing people who are successful, right? They're successful in what they do and who they are and their life, their finances, and their ventures, and they're normal, right? They're like the friends you know, the people you know, the people you meet at at the grocery store, the bank, the people you play music with, right? And so
Yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah, and so like I think that like when I think of successful, I think of you. Like I told you before, like earlier, I was like, you're successful with music, you're successful with like you're being a barber, you're successful with just like who you are. I've like looked up to you and like how you hold yourself and how you like just are Antwan, right?
Yeah.
And so
I respect that.
yeah, this is Antwan Cook, and if you want to introduce yourself, who you are, what you do.
Yes. So I think my first question would be: would this be a situation to where I'd be looking at you, or I'd be sometimes, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I don't. That's also a great question. I'm trying to figure that out too.
Okay.
Because like when we're in the video, it's like this is who this is, right? Um, so I don't know. I think after post production, when we're like staring at it and like, okay, you're looking more at the camera because it doesn't feel like we're involved.
Yeah.
Maybe. Um, I'm not sure honestly. I don't.
I guess this would be just future thinking, but and probably a lot more work. But I know what we this. I mean, I guess this would be cool too. I think if you're able to like zoom, so it won't be like just the same frame the whole time. You know, like sometimes you have angles to where, like, if you got an extra phone, like you have a shot here where it's kind of like it's on you, but you can kind of see me in there.
Yeah.
Same thing. So like, just so that's another element, I guess that would be. But even if that, if even before that, I think with depending on what kind of software you use, you can do like a zoom
Yeah.
on certain parts and then come back
Zoom
out.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I want to do that. Like I told you those little snippets for the shorts, the reels, the TikToks. It's that's what they zoom in and zoom out. Even
Yeah.
even like cutting the screen to like maybe right here.
Okay.
Like just instead of like showing everything else, like just kind of cutting us on the couch like right there.
Okay. Okay. But yes, that is okay. So what's your question again?
Yeah, no. So like, how would you? Who are you? Like what's your name? What do you do?
Okay.
If you had to tell people what you do, it doesn't even have to be profession. Just like, what do you do? Like, who are you? Like, what is?
I think that's the thing. The you caught me at a very interesting point in life, and I think that's the thing. If this interview had taken place maybe 2 years ago,
Yeah.
my answer would be like I'd be able to just answer like this. But now it's almost like I press a reset button.
Yeah.
So I'm still Antwan, but at the same time, I'm still discovering
Mm-hmm.
who I want to be in this version and season of my life. So it's like, but in a nutshell, I guess, I mean, I'm still the artist. I still the barber, still the musician, um, from the South, country as hell. I have my moments where I have to, let people know what I'm saying because it's very, Southern. So I still have that aspect. But yeah, I mean, I think I'm just in my mind. I'm like, because you told me that you may not use this, I'm trying to, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, okay. But yeah, Antoine, yeah, I would say I'm in a position now in life where even though I did press that reset button, I'm more on fire for just life. I guess you could say like life is just in a more I'm not gonna say it's more simple, but like the things that I thought I wanted, the things that I thought that made up Antwan, like some of the things that I thought, yeah, this is Antwan. Like I'm realizing now that's not me. So I'm actually glad that interview didn't take place a while back because if I listen to it now, back then I'd be like, that ain't me. Like
Yeah.
so, yeah. I mean, I'm learning, day by day who Antwan is, like,
Yeah.
and all the, all the pieces that make up who I am. Because all that's been reset too. The barbering, that's on reset. The music, that's on reset. The art, that's on reset. Like I was doing it at one point, but now it's just reset. So now I'm watching it as you're watching. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like tomorrow, I don't know what's going to happen. You
Yeah.
know, so but life is beautiful. You know what I mean? So
No, I think it's so cool because like that's I also respect you for trying doing this because of that reset. And I was like, man, I want to ask Antoine. Uh, I've always had the idea of you're going to be the first person because you just have this like you do the social media, you have your own TikTok following,
yeah.
you do all that stuff, and you're really good at it. Like you just always like uh, I'm always so impressed on how well you do that. So my mind was always like, I want Antoine. Then he left, and I was like, oh man, I got super nervous again. I was like, I don't know what to ask.
Yeah.
And then like, then I brought it up to you again, and I was just impressed that you were just like, yeah, I'm down. Didn't even flinch. I was like,
Yeah.
that's so cool. Like, if it was
Yeah.
me, I probably would have been like, oh man, I definitely hit the mic. If it was me, I would have been like, oh, I don't have the thing to talk about. Like
Yeah.
like I would have, and you just didn't even flinch. You're like, let's do this. So
Yeah. I
I
think that's the
appreciate
thing.
that.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, first of all, the fact that you're doing it. I mean, that's hats off to you. You know what I mean? So. But I think with me, I know I always have something to say. It just depends on the question
Yeah.
and what one would want to know. Because like, even though I'm still figuring this thing out, still like maneuvering through life and trying this, trying that. Okay, that don't work. And just experimenting with my life. Those experiments leave me with so much like shit that I can talk about, because so I don't look at it like, oh, that went wrong or that went right. I just look at this is my life. I'm experimenting with this shit. I don't know. I don't have the answers to what the hell I'm doing. Like
Yeah.
I've never lived this life before, so I'm here. I got a long list of shit that I've just never done. So I mean, it was for me. It's all an experiment with intention, though.
Yeah.
So not just
Yeah.
like I'm just aimlessly living. If there's an aim, but I'm not trying to control how it flows like I used to. Like that was like I think that's what sent me to the point where I'm like, I was just like, what the fuck is happening? Like just I was just not balanced because I was trying to restrict it and control it and not let it do its thing. I said, okay, well I'm gonna try that. I don't know how the shit gonna turn out, but let me just try it. And I tried. Sometime it work. If it work, okay, bet, let's do it. If it don't work, fuck it, let's go to something else. And I just am I allowed to say fuck it?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
fuck it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that I would say that would be a good synopsis. I would say of like these past my journey starting in Nashville. Coming here was an experiment. In 2020, before COVID, I didn't know. Nobody knew COVID was going to be a thing. I came here with the intention on, okay, I'm going to start at a barbershop. Some kind of way music is gonna come into play. So I didn't know I was gonna be a painter. I didn't know that I had no clue that I was gonna paint.
Wow.
I knew I could paint, but I had no clue that was all that was gonna happen. So that's what I'm saying. I just don't know. I just do shit.
Yeah.
So and for me that's what keeps it exciting because if my life is if it's too much of the same shit every day with no type of I'm not saying I'm welcoming shit to go wrong per se, but I'm not. If it does quote unquote go wrong, I just try to find a way to, shit come up with another solution for it. But yeah,
Yeah. No, that's actually right before I met you. I moved to Nashville in 2020 as well. We met like in at the end of 2020 or the mid of
it had to
2020.
be in the middle shit. Well,
Yeah,
see,
like shortly after I got here. No, no. Yeah, it was. I started working at NTS in 2020, and shortly after that, that's when I met you.
you were the first out of them all,
So I was the
right?
first. I was the first to go to boardroom, but I went to the Brentwood location.
Mm.
They went to the West End. They met you, and I had to hear about your name because you're that good. It was like so good that like people at other locations were talking about you. That's how
Ah,
good you were. And
got you.
they were
Okay.
like, "Oh, Antoine, Antoine." I was like, oh, "Fucking Antoine." Like, why are y'all talking to me like I know this dude? I don't. And so like they told me that they were going to West End, and they were like, "This guy's cutting cut great." And I went to a couple other people, and it just wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. And then I went there, met you, and then we started getting cuts from you, and then hanging out afterwards. And
Yeah.
yeah, but like the same thing. I moved here right before the tornado,
Mm.
and then
Okay.
COVID
Okay.
hit. Like so, it was
Okay.
like literally weeks before I moved here. After I moved here, tornado decimates part of Nashville.
I got a burp.
Oh yeah, no,
Excuse me.
no.
Excuse me. Let me. Yeah.
That'd be a little sound bite, just a burp. But yeah, we met each other then, and yeah, we've known each other for a while, and I think it's really neat that you didn't know you were going to paint because I've seen you painting for the past like year and a half, and that's such a huge aspect of your. At least I've seen it as a huge aspect of your art. And
It was something I just really. I'm not gonna say brushed off, but I didn't come out here with the intention on doing any
yeah, it
paintings or any art.
was all music, right?
Yeah, I mean hair. Well, obviously cutting hair just for making money, but
Yeah,
then it was music. But like you said, I mean that tornado, and COVID shut everything down. Then the place I was working at shut down, so I had to go into social marketing. That's how I really got just somewhat active in like content creation and
mm-hmm.
social marketing because after that, after the place I was working at, the barbershop shut down, then I started working for this nonprofit doing their social marketing.
Mm-hmm.
So because I was like just doing that shit every day, eventually I was like, and I just kind of adopted it to some of the things that I was doing, and yeah,
Yeah,
so that's how those are what I got. I think I have like 12,000 followers now.
yeah,
Yeah, so that's complete accident. That's what I'm saying. It's experiment, bro.
yeah.
The videos that went viral
Mm-hmm.
were ones that I just did not care about to go. I didn't know they would go viral. But the ones that I wanted to go viral,
Nothing.
they sitting there with like 200 views. So that you know what I'm saying? Like that's how the shit works. You just don't know. But and I at first I got kind of bent out of shape at first. Like damn, like the ones that I'm putting like
Trying to make happen.
all these hashtags. I'm following all the algorithms that they suggest, and then nothing working. And I post this random ass video just like quickly with no real thought, and then here we go, 5.1 million views.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I edited it. I did my thing,
Yeah.
but it wasn't like I did not intend for it to do what it's doing now. So I think going back to just if I had just I'm thinking about who Antwan is. Like at core, I feel like I just what's the word for someone who loves to do experiments?
Scientist. That's what I would
Am I a
consider.
scientist?
I mean, it sounds
No,
like
I'm just joking.
life scientist,
I
right?
guess so
Life
because the thing is,
scientist.
I really legitimately just do things, but I always have like my intention is for it to work. Okay, yeah, this gonna work, but I don't know, but yeah, so it's been a beautiful journey. Like the whole, I mean, I love the spontaneity. Is that a word?
Yeah,
Is that how I say
absolutely.
that? Yeah, yeah. So I love the feeling of not knowing, and then when something happens that is subconsciously I wanted to happen, then it happens. Like kind of gives me that extra little
Yeah.
boost to keep going in that direction. But yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So the some other questions I want to ask you is definitely
Okay.
about success.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
and so easy. This is a simple one, right? So what does success mean to you? And like, if you had to, even tell kids about it, right? Like, if you were explaining this to a child, what does success mean to you in the simplest form?
How old is the child?
Okay.
I'm joking.
No.
I'm joking. But okay. Success for me would be definitely it, I, it's like a success for me is like it's a package
Okay.
for me. It's like this present that you open, and then when you open it, everything in it you have a connection to. You're happy about it. I mean, it's it's not something that you've been forced to do. It's not something that you're doing because you want people to look at you, and then when people don't look at you, you get bent out of shape. If for me, success is having like a feeling or like this internal feeling after putting your hands towards something, and it doesn't matter who gave you it doesn't matter if you got one pat on the back. It doesn't matter if somebody say that's good. It doesn't matter if somebody say that's bad. It doesn't matter what anyone says externally, but internally, I'm like so happy about it. Like example, I sometimes I create music that doesn't have a popular sound. Like a lot of I let certain people listen to it, and it has this what they would call, it's just not, I'm not gonna say weird, but it's not trendy. Like a lot of music I create is not
So eccentric. Like I think that's the word about it.
I, yeah. So but when I listen to it, I'm like I'm lit. Like nobody's around. It's just me
Yeah.
listening to this piece of art, and to me, that's success. That piece of art is success. It has no streams. No one has heard it. Nobody has judged it. No one has criticized it. But for me, when I listen to it, it makes me feel good internally. Like that's for me, that's success. And then that's just going to trickle on. Like when other people hear it, because I've already deemed it as successful. It's successful. Like I'm not looking for. For me, it's not like a stamp or a Grammy award. Yeah, I mean those things are accolades. I mean that's what I guess everybody, if you're in a certain industry, you want that. I guess it adds value to your name and all that. But for me, it's not about that. The value is there because I say it's there. The value is there because it came from my soul. It came from my heart, and it's beauty. You know, whether that's a painting, a lot of paintings I did. I mean, I didn't get a lot of people say, "Oh, that's." I don't. I guess the thing like success for me is just not is being happy with what you created or what you done or the effort that you put forth, regardless of who seconds that motion. As long as I say, hey, this is yeah, I like this. This is because the thing is I put, especially when you put everything into it, you're not taking any shortcuts.
Yeah.
You're not half-assing it. You're not just doing enough to get by, because you can't call that success if you didn't really put your all into it.
Yeah.
And then no one buys it, no one supports it. Then you're feeling all shitty. But did you really put? So for me, because I put my all into it, if no one says anything, I'm not deterred, because I can truly say I put my all into this. Like this is my, and it's mine. Like it's original. I created this. Like if I had not created this boot, for example, I designed this boot.
Yeah.
This would not have ever been on this planet if I had not designed this.
Yeah.
For me, this is success. Do people know about this? Yeah, some people know, some people have seen it, but it's not like no one is asking to purchase it for like $5,000, and that's what some people would deem as success. But for me, it's success because I put my heart into it. I mean, I love what I do. I love art, and then it looks good. Now, is it successful? Yeah, because it's fire as fuck. I'm not gonna lie and pretend like it ain't fire. It's fire.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, it's fire because that's how. I mean, what they say, beauty is in the eye of the beholder or whatever. But yeah, so in to condense it, yeah, that would be my definition of success. I would say.
No, I like it. And like going to what you said, like if you put it in like a box and everything. So it sounds like success to you is like a gift to yourself, a gift you give to yourself. Yeah.
Yes.
The gift, like you.
I like, yeah, the well put. I like that. Yeah.
Right? Oh, you said.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
the way you reworded it, yeah,
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
And it sounds really cool because like yeah, when I want success, I want something that I can enjoy, I can appreciate. It's for me. It's something I put all my effort into it. And it's like yeah, this is for me, and I'm happy about it. And it does get stolen, right? The success gets stolen when I'm like, what do you think about that? Did you like it?
Yeah.
Was it good? Was it this? Was it that? And I robbed myself from like like little successes of like little things because I'm just like, I have to ask. Was it good enough? Was it? And of course, we all need someone to like kind of help us, right?
Yeah, for real.
But when it comes to the point of like you feel the gift taken away from you because of just having to ask, that's like, that's no longer that success you're talking about. That's a neat way. I don't think I've heard like that before.
Oh, thank you. I just made it up. I just started talking. I don't know. Well, yeah, I mean, but I think that's internally, that's genuinely how I feel. But I didn't always start that way. Like I didn't. I was like just the utmost people pleaser and wanting people to like my shit. And if they didn't like it, I changed it or I post something that if I didn't get the right amount of likes or comments and shares, I take the shit down, and you know what I mean. Like I lived that life for a long time of only posting things or only putting out things or producing music or sharing things with people when people will give me certain feedback, and then if I didn't get that feedback, I'm just sitting there, I'm listening to it. Now I enjoyed it before I let anybody hear it.
Yep.
In my mind, it was fantastic. But when I gave that to other people and just kind of wanted them to express their approval the way I and have the same joy that I had or have the same expression that I had toward what I created. That's the thing. I had to take the expectation off of other people's reaction. Like it don't matter how you react to it, you didn't create it. So I mean, of course you're not. You know what I mean?
It's like the same feel, yeah.
It's like for me. It's like a lady. It's like a woman carrying a baby for 9 months, and then she's joyous. Baby comes out. Got the baby. Then takes it to a friend. Takes the little girl to a friend's house, and then hey, here's my baby. And then the friend's like, okay.
Cool.
Okay, but that's the thing. Like the mother shouldn't be offended. That's your baby. As long as you're having with your connection, it don't matter if someone else, that person didn't carry that baby for 9 months. You did. You're gonna have the connection. And so that's how I look at it. Like it's my work. I created this. Came from my heart. Came from my soul. So I don't expect you. If you do, great. But if you don't, great, because it's great because it's from me. So, but at the end of the day, like I said, I mean, if it's from the heart and it's like you put your all into it, it's gonna kill. Like that's an audience for everything. It's an audience for whatever, especially when it's heartfelt, when it's like genuine, and and essentially, I mean, you've done the what you call it, the groundwork. You've done the research. You practice. You practice. You practice. You practice. Of course, it's gonna be good. I mean, so that's how I look at it.
Yeah. No, and it's funny because like what you're talking about, similar to why I wanted to do this. I was reading this book. It's right there, Tools of Titans. Every morning I try to. Now I try to. I just started it like a few days ago.
Oh
I'm
no,
not gonna
okay.
be acting like I'm fucking doing this for
Yeah, I feel you.
years and
Yeah.
months, right? I just trying to start to do it and have a good morning routine. And so I read like one chapter of it, and this talks about this one lady where she says, do things because you want to do them. And if you keep trying to do things for everybody else, you'll start doing it and have bitter and resentments, and you're not gonna be able to do it well. And I was like, every time I've tried to do like a TikTok, the video, right, a TikTok video, and I'm like, what are they like? What are you gonna like? Am I supposed to say this? I'm supposed to do this, and I always feel like it's just not fun. And I don't enjoy it. I don't like it. I get upset about it. And so this one, I was like, I want to interview people about their own. I want to do this, and I don't know if people are gonna like it. I don't, whatever. But like, it just seemed easier. It just seemed easier. It seemed like something, even if it doesn't work, I could talk to people.
Yeah.
And I get to like be uncomfortable and grow in that discomfort and be a better person. So like,
right.
who cares? And so like, and that's what it sounds like you're doing. It's like this. I enjoy it. I like it, and that's why like honestly why I've like admired you in your work, because like you've shown me your work and like you've just been so confident in it, right? You're like, this is me. This is my shit. I enjoy this, and I was like, damn, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like I was like, that is so cool.
Yeah.
Like
I
that,
appreciate it.
that kind of like confidence in it, and just like doesn't matter what anybody thinks, and it's just like I like that because like I want to have that kind of like um, own recognition in my work.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I feel that, and I think too. The thing that really led me to it, I realized that I gave my power away, like to people, and then not shitting on nobody, but a lot of people when they realize that you have that weakness, and that especially if they can kind of sense that it is good, but they didn't produce it, so they're not gonna really say it's good, especially when they know that you're relying on them. You're relying on their yes and their clap before you even move forward, and that was me. A lot of people like they knew that I would somewhat depend on. Oh that's good. Oh my bad.
Oh
And
no,
then
here
and then when they say that's good, I'm like, okay, bet, that's good. I can go ahead. And then when I show them something else, or show whoever something else, is like, maybe you should. And I'm like, well, I don't really know how to do like that. Ain't really my style. And then that's where the confusion comes. I'm like, okay, damn, they say it ain't good, but I really don't want to go there.
Or
I kind of like
doubts.
all that
Yeah.
doubt, and it just started making me second guess my gifts, my talent, what I could do. When before I didn't second guess, I was dope. For me, it was good.
Yeah.
But then when that person gave me that first yes and that dopamine shit, when that kicked in, I wanted that. I kept wanting that yes. I kept wanting that
More
approval.
than the actual work and to be giving the work. Yeah.
Yes. So, and once I realized that that was like controlling me and kind of like changing me for the worse, like it made me just not. At one point, I just stopped producing anything. I just stopped doing anything just because I'm like, let me just move on to something else. And what I moved on to was stuff that I didn't even like. It's just stuff that I settled for. Like it wasn't even things that I just had a connection to, because the things I did have a connection to, instead of me just having that successful mindset within and not looking for it externally, that's what kind of had me swayed. So yeah, I mean, I wasn't always like this. I had to get to that point of just like going through that depression stage, and or you ain't good enough, or or they didn't, just all the day. It was everything that had me just shaking was just shit from external. Because internally I was okay. It's just when I was looking for external validation, external people to just say to second me, I just I just had to let that go. And once I let it go, for me, it caused me to start just trying things I've never tried, because I was no longer just waiting for a person to give me a jump off. I didn't need anybody to give me a jump off. I have my own battery source within. I mean, I just go. I just have to trust. I just have to learn to trust why I'm here, what I have, what I've been given, and just do the shit and just be happy and just have fun with it. Like a lot of times, like when I play piano, I had to get out of when I started trying to play piano and just play things I knew people would like, just because that was a trend on social media. It wasn't fun. Like I would do it and it didn't get the views, it didn't get the success, it didn't go anywhere, because I was trying to go according to the formula and all that. And I'm not saying you can't have structure, but I just had to break free from the control of how things look outside of me, because when I started just playing and sitting down, what? I don't know what I'm about to play. I don't know what I'm about to create, but I'm just gonna go with it. I just sit down and start playing, and I feel it. Like I'm connected to it. Like the smile that I start producing after the piece is done, I was smiling because I heard myself create something that I never heard before. I loved it, and it made me feel good. If it didn't matter if I recorded it and put it on iTunes or anything like that. Because a lot of stuff I didn't. I just have it recorded on my phone or something. I just enjoy it myself. So yeah,
That reminds me of Ronald Jenkins. Have you ever heard of him?
I don't think so.
So he was like back when like YouTube just started. He would like go, "Hey YouTubes," and just like start jamming out, have the jam session, and he would create music on the spot. And these songs became like I mean he's not massive, but I think he's great. It's like electronic piano.
I think I know what you're talking about.
And he just like jamming out, and like he'll like put little like captions on the video and be like, sometimes you just gotta let your music play out and do its thing, and it's just like this very free flowing music, like just doing. So when you were saying that, I just get on and jam, and something just happens. I think of him, right? And he would just literally record the video and then upload it, and give us all great music for almost 2 decades. He's been making music.
Oh, dope. Shit, that's what's up.
But I like what you said about the dopamine thing. So I think I've done the exact same thing where it's like asking people. I've had some things where I'm like, I'm super confident in this and I'm good and I'm ready. And I kind of mentioned it earlier, but I didn't think about the dopamine part. I'm ready and like, oh, it's good. And I'm like, well, let me ask Antwan.
Yeah.
I just need him to say it's good. Or like, you know what I mean? Or like, let me ask my maritza. Or let me ask this person.
Yeah.
And I just need them to say it. And it's like this need. Because like, yeah, when you get that, and there's been times where maybe I've gone to you or somebody else and they're like, oh, that's a badass idea. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask. And it's just like, I have to ask like all these people just to get like what? Like you said, that dopamine rush of like, it is a good idea.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, all I'm relying on is this like feel good instead of relying on like, oh, I want to do this.
Yeah.
And I just never do it. Like this idea of like doing this, like, I think I talked to a few people about it. You were like super supportive, and then other people were kind of like, meh, because they didn't care. It's not their
Yeah.
thing. It's not their idea. Like, why
Right.
do they care? They don't need to care about this.
Yeah.
And so that was such a neat idea of like dopamine chasing, right? Like,
Yeah.
say it's a good idea. Is it a good idea?
Yeah. Essentially, yeah, for real. Yeah, I feel that. Real
Yeah.
talk.
No, that's a good one, man. Let's see. Okay, I definitely want to get to the thing. We talked about success, right? I
Okay.
want to talk
Okay.
about. Let's see. Let's see. Which one do I want to pick? Yeah. Okay. So, what does? Yeah. Like let's keep it simple, and then we'll make the questions a little more interesting. Like, what about failure? Right? What does failure mean to you?
Who?
Failure.
Failure. For me, I would say failure would be really just stopping, like, or just deciding to give up, or I think it's more. This answer is much more simple for me because it's just a matter of I feel like as long as you're trying, as long as you're putting forth effort towards something, you're like it don't even matter if the confidence level drops. As long as if the confidence level drops, but you're still putting your hand towards, you're still going forward. To me, that's you not really being controlled by what you feel, but going off of what you know internally that I'm going to make this work. Like this is gonna work. To
Mm.
me, that's success. But failure would be oh, mm, damn, I'm thinking about I really don't like this shit. Okay, let me just, I ain't even gonna worry about that no more.
Mm.
I feel like that's when I think that would be considered failure, not something not working. Because I'm sure Thomas Edison, when he was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't a failure because the shit didn't work the first time. We got light bulbs, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, eventually. So I feel like failure is not for example, if you watching UFC or boxing and the person falls in the first round, you didn't fail. I
Mm.
mean, you may have fallen, but you didn't fail if you got up and kept trying. Because some people, shit, you and I both watch tennis all the time.
Yep.
Like, so well, you watch it way more than me, but so it's like we know that shit can go you could be up thinking you're going to win. Next thing you know, you get complacent though. But this other person, their mind, no, I'm not giving up. Like I'm not. I
So
haven't. I'm down 2 sets, but I'm not gonna give up until it's over. And I feel like that's those people who have come back and they won.
mm-hmm.
You know, so I feel like failure is when you just give up and just decide to, you know what, I don't want to do this. I don't want to try. Like you're just not trying. You know.
Would you say complacency is failure or a type of failure?
I wouldn't say complacency is a type of failure unless that complacency leads to just this numbness of just not even just stepping out of a box, just staying in this comfort zone, and especially when you have when one has so much more to offer and so much more to give to the world at that point, like you're failing yourself, but you're also failing people who are in need of what you have because we've all been given something. We all have something that is for somebody else, and I feel like that failure comes when we ignore it because we're waiting on somebody else to bring it out. When it's our job to bring out what's in us, it's nobody else's job. So I feel like that's where that failure comes in. There, we just like, you know what? Let me go to something. I'm not really happy with it, but I'll do it, and you know what I mean. So it's like, but I'm not. It won't be like that. I don't believe that person is a failure in a sense, especially you still got life, you still got breath. I feel like at any point anyone can change their mind and say, you know, I have been complacent for 4 or 5 years, but at this point, I'm no longer complacent. So I feel like at that point, you just went dormant, maybe.
Yeah.
But then you get back active. So yeah, I mean, and I feel like it happens to all of us at some point. We just get complacent. We get to a point where it's like we just pause for a moment. But I just feel like
Comfortable.
yeah, comfortable.
Yeah.
And I just feel like failure would be just the moment of just saying I quit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you still have something to give, right?
Yeah.
I get like I think like if there's trying to do something and then you realize okay this isn't for me and then shipping changing into a different direction and putting your effort in this way, like that's not a failure, right? Like
No, yeah, yeah.
it's like when you have something to give in
Right,
this one field or whatever it is, right? And then you just like it sounded like you let the doubt, insecurity, other voices in. You're just like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm just gonna stop. That's
yeah,
kind of like it doesn't even sound like that's failure. Like you're failing yourself. You're failing your dream, right?
right,
Like that
right.
person's like not a failure, but they're failing their goals, their dreams, their
Yeah.
who they are, who they can be.
Essentially, I feel like the thing that the thing that will bring you the most joy, like, but it may not, is not, and that's kind of, and I could be wrong. I mean, I don't know. I just have to give that some deep thought. But I feel like the things that bring us individually the most joy are the things that we sometimes be like the most insecure about.
Yeah.
That we may sometimes kind of back away from because and I feel like that's how you know, like that's how you know that you're supposed to be doing this because especially if you have the I'm gonna be real, like kind of like you with just say modeling, for example.
Mm,
I personally feel like you could step into just say a random agency out here somewhere and
mm,
just say, hey, I've been thinking about going to modeling. They'll lose you. Okay, you want and like they immediately want to, but that's the thing, like for you, it's just like a matter. I mean, a desire, but like somebody else. But that goes back to what you said earlier. Like we all need each other to some capacity, and sometimes other people can see that thing,
yeah.
especially when they don't. There's nothing in their heart like that's gonna block them from seeing it. Like
Mm,
for me, my mind towards you, even with this, like I mean, just because you talk the way you, I feel like you're just able to just even doing this, you're like outside of the modeling, but just I just talk about this because this is what we're doing. Like the fact that it took you, it took you a while to get to the point where you just okay, babe, I'm just gonna go ahead. Let me just do it. Fuck, and then, but that's how I feel like that it's something to it.
mm,
And but I feel like we're trained or some kind of way we think the opposite. If we're nervous, maybe I'm not supposed to do it. Versus if I'm nervous, maybe I'm supposed to overcome this nervousness because this is probably a part of who I am to some capacity. So yeah,
oh yeah. Well, first off with the modeling thing,
yeah,
I told him right before this on my vision board for this year was to model on something. I've been wanting to model on something for years, and I was just like, I'm doing it this year, and it's a December right now, and so I have a short period, and even if we don't get to do it, I don't get to do it. It's going to be on my vision board for next year. And then you talked about like the nervousness thing. Honestly, that's kind of why I wanted to do this was because so I'm also a therapist, and with my clients, I always tell them about the myth of authenticity, and the myth of authenticity, which was told to me by another person. You know, all the things I know were told to me by somebody, right? I don't take credit for anything. Was that like we want to wait until we feel like we can do it. We want to wait till it feels authentic, right? So it's like I'll start working out when I feel like I can work out, and
yeah,
I'm a person who works out, and it's like that's actually false, right? We should just start doing it, and then over time we'll feel that way. And I tell my clients this all the time,
yeah,
like all the myth of authenticity. Let me remind you the myth. And I'm just like,
yeah,
and then this today and this past week, I was like, man, I'm doing the exact same thing with this. Like I'm waiting until I feel like I can do this. I'm
yeah,
waiting until I feel like I'm this person. I'm waiting. It's like just fucking do it
yeah,
and just start it and see what happens
yeah,
and grow into it or just as long as I'm not doing the myth about this authenticity thing, like if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I don't know. I don't want to be a hypocrite.
I feel yeah, for sure,
Like
for sure.
I tell my clients these things, and I'm over here like, oh man, until I feel this way. So that was one of the reasons why I was like, I'm doing this.
Yeah,
I can sit
that's
on the
dope.
couch and not do it, or I can do it. I'm going to do it. Um, so what about? So we got failures, right? So my next question is like, how have like failures and mistakes shaped you? Like how have they made you who you are?
Well, the first thing I just stopped considering them as mistakes. I think that's for me. I don't really. I personally don't. I don't really view them, I guess, as mistakes. In a sense. So I think that's what allows me to somewhat be shaped by them. I mean, um, I look at it as like, you know, I put my hand towards something, it didn't go the way I wanted to go. It just now I get another opportunity to create another route or create something different or try something else. Because if I were to put my hands to something and I get it immediately, then I've gained that, but the journey of getting there, you know what I mean? I feel like I would take it, certain things I would take for granted because I just got it so easily. And I didn't have like a solid foundation. So for me, those mistakes or those things that don't go as well kind of for me, it just gives me a solid foundation, something to stand on so that when that thing is obtained, I'm not, I don't need, at that point, I've tried so many ways and so many things to get to this point to where if somebody comes and tell me that it can't be done, you can't tell me it can't be done. Because I made so many mistakes and I've tried so many ways and I could have stopped, but I didn't. And this is the product that we have. So you can't tell me that way I'm not looking for anybody to say you can or you can't do because I'm appreciating these attempts that I made that were not successful attempts or it didn't produce for example, when I used to be a big Kool-Aid maker, like a lot of times some of the flavors I mixed together was shit. You know what I mean? But eventually, Barber became a beast at mixing them flavors together. I had my Kool-Aid tasting like damn Jolly Rancher. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it took those attempts. So that now at this point with cutting hair, I tell people all the time, like, damn, like this is good to me because the thing is, I'm just thinking about this again. I tell people all the time with cutting hair. When I cut your hair, what was it, yesterday?
Yep. There
was certain points in your haircut that I did something that I did not intend to do. That initially I was like in my mind, but you didn't hear that. We were just, it's just all in my mind. I'm just cutting hair, but I found a way to blend out that spot that I didn't want to hit. And guess what? I needed to make that mistake so that I could take your fade up a little higher just in this area to balance it off. So it wasn't really a mistake. Yeah. I didn't try to do that, but because I did it and I wasn't intending to do it, I had to create a way to blend that. So it brought out more creativity. So I feel like mistakes just brings out creativity when you don't make a mistake and then give up.
Yeah, no, it sounds like it's not a mistake. It's more of a turn or cut in the road.
Yes, I think that's the awesome way to put that. Yeah.
I want to go back to the Kool-Aid thing. What was your favorite mixture?
My favorite mixture was mixed berry and green apple. It tastes just like a Jolly Rancher.
Yeah, bro. I was basic. I mixed obviously strawberry and lemonade. I was like, I want strawberry lemonade. Like I did all the time. It was delicious, right? Yeah. But like I don't think I ever went too crazy. Of course, and just think about lemonade. I think about like having the how much sugar did you put in it? A bunch?
No, I'm embarrassed to take.
It was a lot, right?
It was sweet,
dude. So like the only people that can make it in the house were my dad, myself, and my sister because we would put so much sugar in it. And my stepmom, she wouldn't put any. She would just put like maybe a little bit in there, but like this massive thing of just sugar would sit right above all the Kool-Aid packets and just fucking 4 or 5 cups of it.
That my auntie, I ain't gonna say her name, but my auntie, she would make a Kool-Aid and she would follow the directions. 2 cups. We not following the directions, right? You know what I mean? But that shit tastes like. When they give you recommended, add this amount of water and add 2 cups. It wouldn't happen. Oh. So yeah.
Oh man, no, but yeah, like a turn in the road, and I like that. So, what would you say is your favorite mistake? Your favorite?
Oh, now that is good. Hold up. That's good because I got a lot of and the reason why I say it's good because I have a lot. It's a lot of things that I did that I did not intend to go that way, and I had to reroute.
Yeah.
My favorite probably, and are we talking about mistakes or what one would consider failure?
I guess what is your favorite for your own experience?
Of just being rerouted.
Yeah. Because like it sounds like you don't consider them mistakes. You consider them reroutes. So, like, your favorite reroute?
I would say when I auditioned for American Idol in 2004, um, yeah, it was my I wanted to go, but my dad definitely wanted me to go too. So he took off work, and then it was me, him, my mom. I don't think my siblings. I think they were in school. But yeah, so next week I had freshman orientation at Alcorn. But anyway, so I went there, was outside. Um, after my parents dropped me off, so this was like a day before. I didn't do the camping out thing, but I did stay overnight. So I was out in the elements, and then I started fucking noticing like my voice started feeling like scratchy. So I didn't think it was a flu because I never had the flu, but it ended up being a flu like later on once I found out. So went up to sing in front of the people, in front of the producers. It was like four of us at a time. It's like four in a row, so it was our time. Us four, we walked up. First girl, she sung. Second, the guy he sung. Then it was my turn. I sang Usher's "You Remind Me." Um, but now my voice was very soft because it was gone. Like so I'm singing. They was like, hey, you all sound good, but we're really looking for people with some powerful voices, and we're looking for certain things. You guys try again next year. Um, so we all walking off. One girl, she just broke down, started crying, and I'm not laughing at her. I get it, but yeah. So at that moment, before I auditioned, I had a feeling that I wasn't gonna make it, and only because I'm like, I'm gonna sing, but I just don't. My voice is not there. Like it's just scratching and shit. So left that, found my parents, let them know, hey, I didn't make it, so on, so on, so on. It was kind of disappointing, but I ended up going to Alcorn. Um, Alcorn State University was there. Uh, learned music theory, learned opera. I learned so much, so many things, and connected with so many different people that without that period, if I had went, just say hypothetically, I would have went to American Idol audition, made it to the top 12. Just say I didn't win, but I made it to the top 12, got some kind of record deal. I was just so underdeveloped. I was so immature. I just would have got taken advantage of in so many ways just because the kind of person I was. I was already a people pleaser. I was already just not confident. Even though I was auditioning for American Idol, I wasn't fucking confident. I was doing it because it was on TV. My dad was pushing me. So I didn't really have that inward confidence within myself. So I'm glad of that because like I don't know what kind of road, yeah, to the world, oh, he made it. That's success to everybody else.
Yeah.
But I would have only considered it success because everybody else did. Internally I just was not there. I wasn't developed. There was just a lot of shit I didn't know about myself. Um and so I'm that's one that was probably that's the first one that came to my mind, but that's at top. That's my top, one of my top rerouting. Like I'm so glad that happened. I'm glad that year was the year Fantasia one. So I'm glad of it. You know what I mean?
You might knock her out. Who knows what
Hey, you never know. You never know. But here we are later. And I don't think I would have known that I could paint because I wasn't thinking about painting. Painting was my younger brother's thing. Like he painted. I would not have known that I could cut hair. I was not cutting hair. Like it was so many things that I would not have done because I just would have been so just in.
Let me just go this route. Let me stick to this. I'm gonna do this. And
yeah. So for me, I think that's my answer for that.
That's a pretty cool one. Not a lot of people could say they, did the standing out all night, camping all night.
Well, essentially, yeah. Yeah. Well, I was inside. I wasn't outside. I was inside the Superdome. So like I was, everybody had their like, on the wall they had their sleeping bags and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think I was so young and I was just walking around like everybody else asleep. That's probably. I wasn't taking care of my voice properly. I was just walking around. Well, to just get my life. But yeah, that happened. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. You were able to like use that as like a pivot to like, okay, let me just put like you've done so many things and do my all into like university and then barbering and then painting and all the things you have now.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
let's see. I guess the I want to have a final question. I want the final question to be something like,
What grinds my gears? This is what grinds my
tell me,
gears. No,
tell me.
go ahead.
No, so I think moving forward in this next, okay, how about this one? I think this one just because I know you and where you're at. So, how do you see success in what you're doing right now? Right, you got this pivot in your life, but you're like you said you're, a year, 2 years ago would have been this. Now it's this. So, how do you see find success in what you're doing right now and where you're at right
I think right now that as of this current moment, this current hour, this day, is not much that is not there aren't that many things just kind of I would say that have come to fruition or things that have manifested or things that have because like I said this is like a reset. I mean this is like I'm this is early for me again once again in Nashville, but I think for me the success is being able to say that I moved away, went to another state. I put my all into a lot of things. I put my heart into it, and then I had the courage to say, this is I tried this, I did this, and I'm mature enough to say that this is not it. I know what I need to do and where I need to go. So for me, coming to Nashville wasn't like going backwards. It was more so of like a revamping, a resurgence, if you will, of the life that I was attempting to create, but I didn't have who I am now and what I have, the confidence I have now. I did not have this when I first moved to Nashville. Like I wasn't this person. I was still, subconsciously looking for that, you know, the likes and the oh man, yeah, that's dope, all those
now?
things. Not necessarily just 100% driven by it, but at the same time, I wasn't 100% driven by me. So um, but having the experience that I had after leaving Nashville and coming back, I think now I feel successful now because I'm able to like I'm able to talk about it. I'm able to talk. I'm able to. I still see the light. Like I
Mm-hmm.
still see the finish line, even though I don't know what that means to finish, but I still see it. Like I'm
Yeah.
still going for it. I'm still going towards it. I'm still experimenting. I'm still like, okay, bet tomorrow. I don't know, but I do know I'm gonna try something. I don't know what's gonna happen after I try this, but I do know I'm going to make this phone call. I do know I'm going to put this out there. I do know I'm going to create this. I'm going to reach out to this person. I'm going to, and that's to me that's success because like I'm building my own momentum and I'm not waiting on anybody ever again. And that was the thing. Like beforehand, I was waiting on people. Yep. My first orbit around Nashville. I mean, my first cycle, I was like waiting on people. Like I was, hoping people would respond. I had a lot of external things that I just didn't need. That I thought I needed, and I think that's the thing. There we go. Now I made it to the answer I was looking for. I also realized I don't have to talk that loud because I have this mic right here. I'm thinking that the microphone is up there, so
That's
I'm
right.
talking about. But yes, anyway, but yeah. So I think now I feel successful now because a lot of the things that I thought I needed, not even just from people, like things as far as like even just some of the bad food that I was eating, or some of the things that I was just making, like just it's excuses, just a lot of things that I had. I realized just I don't need a lot of things I thought I needed from people. I realized I don't need. There's a lot of things that I thought I needed, and that that the thinking that I had is just I was just accumulating weight, and it was just weighing me down. And I didn't know that it was weighing me down. I thought that it was propelling me forward. But then I was looking at the evidence, like, well, I'm really not really. I'm doing something. I'm not really going anywhere for real, for real. But the thing is, I wasn't really going where I wanted to go. It's not. It wasn't anybody's fault. Nobody. It wasn't. I'm not. It's no blame on anyone except myself. That's why I have to take accountability and responsibility and just say, you know what? You don't really need all this. I know you thought you did because that's just how you've been programmed to think, and that's what
Mm-hmm.
probably everybody else is doing. And that's what everybody else. That was everybody. This is you probably admired this person's walk, and you were just doing what they did, oh, whatever for them, let me try it. And I had to just get rid of the idea of thinking that I just need so much to do something when really a little goes a long way. And I think that's what I'm realizing. It just takes a little of external things and a lot of internal just confidence and just whatever. And yeah,
That's pretty neat, man. I like that one. Man, you said something. I'm trying to remember what it was and how it relate. Oh, the waiting on people.
yeah,
I like that. No, man, I definitely have that feeling. Even with this, like as I was trying to wait on, I don't know who I was trying to wait on. To be honest,
yeah. I feel you. Yeah,
I just but like like I wanted somebody and this and that, and it's like um, it. We were hanging out before this, watching Ocean's 11, right? And we could have kept on that couch and kept watching,
yeah,
because
yeah,
you would have just watched it, it would have been fine. And part of me, like, even that little voice was like, Antoine should say something. Antoine should say something. It's like that waiting on
yeah.
somebody, and it really it's that like insecurity and that worry, right?
I feel it.
You know what
Yeah,
I mean? It's just like, well, if he didn't say it, oh, there's that cop out, right?
yeah,
And I just remember
yeah,
thinking, I gotta get my butt up, get dressed, get ready, and let's do this. And so it's like
yeah.
that waiting on somebody is very powerful. Like
I
our
feel
brain
that.
can just trick ourselves into thinking like, oh, I need this person, I need this person, and it's man, it's
That's real
powerful.
talk.
Ah,
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah,
hundred
that's what's
percent,
up.
man. Okay, then so what is let's say three pieces of success? I would say advice because like I don't know if advice fits for everybody, right? But like
Okay.
three pieces of like mm, successful, like how you see success or like ways of thinking or the way you view things that you want to leave for everybody. Again, like, advice is hard, right?
I
Because
got
like
you. Yeah.
we can't,
Right.
I can't fit in everybody's life. But
Right.
like, what are three things that you live by
Okay.
that you would
Okay.
say you would give to others?
I would say one, if something comes to your mind to do or to produce or to create or a place to go, if something comes to your mind and it seems like far fetched or you start second guessing it, that's the indication to do that shit and put your all into it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that'll be my first thing. If something comes to your mind, especially if it just seems like it was just random and you and it just don't seem likely for you to do it. Like, and I say that for me, like a lot of things, it just wasn't likely for me just to do. Just where I came from and just the resources that I was just used to having or was not used to having. So it's like a lot of things I thought about and I was like, and like that, like what you just said, I put it off and then just kind of people who I mentioned it to, just waiting on them to say something like, "Hey, you ever thought about picking that thing back up?" Or you ever thought about? Yeah, so I would say that would be my first one that came to my mind. Just like if it hits you, instead of spending time trying to understand or figure out if you're supposed to do it, just do it and then you'll know afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Then all that time that you know what I mean, like there's so much time could have been you could like did that and then did something else and did something else versus should I? Hey, you think I should? Okay. Hey, you think I should? Or looking at it, damn, should I? Should I? Should I? It's just all that time versus just you know what? Shit, that shit came from a bit. Let's do it. Okay, that's it. Let's do it. Okay, what else?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
I like that one.
yeah. So another thing I would say, I feel like that was three of them. So I don't know. uh, I don't know if trusting your intuition goes with that, but I think it does. Yeah, I mean, just trust your intuition. I know this is cliche, and I know this is, but it's really just never giving up. I think for me, it's that's so that is like top for me. Just never giving up, and whatever that means, like giving up hope, giving up on your dreams, giving up on ideas you have. I think that's the thing. Like just never. giving up. Doubt, that's normal. Losing confidence, that's normal. It's like we experience all these normal things, and then we sometimes we highlight those normal things and it makes us stop. But just okay, if tomorrow comes, tomorrow every day I don't feel like I'm a good musician.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes, especially going through this reset, this time where I don't have access to my keyboard. My keyboard's in a whole other state. I haven't touched the keyboard in I don't know how long. And that's not I have that's I've always had access to a keyboard since I was like 8 years old. And now in my life right now, I've spent so much time not touching a keyboard, not producing music. This is not normal for me. So this is advice I'll give myself like at this moment. Like, yeah, like don't lose sight in what you can do and what you desire to do and who you are just because you don't have access to the things that you used to have access to. That don't mean that it's over, because it's just different. It's not over, it's just not what you're used to. It's different. So that's two.
That's three.
Is it?
Yeah, it was the first one, that trust your intuition.
Oh man, that's three. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, bet. Okay.
No, that was great. That was a great one, man. I want to thank you for doing this with me, being the first one.
My pleasure. It's an honor to
it.
be your first one.
Oh,
What you
man,
mean?
You made it so easy. Like, so easy. You talk so well. And you definitely give this so much thought, and you really want to make sure you answer the question and not just be like,
Yeah.
doo-doo. And you're
Yeah,
like,
for
I
real.
want to answer it. I want to give this. And honestly, it sounds like you have a voice that you want people to hear you.
Yeah.
And I like that
Yeah.
because like it's like that's why I said it makes it so much easier. You know?
Yeah,
It's
for real,
like,
for real.
Ooh, I'm over here just chilling. Oh,
Because I ain't gonna lie. If you don't stop me, and I'm glad you said I did three, because I would have found another one.
Yeah.
Because I would just keep going. Yeah.
Oh, it's
So, yeah.
perfect. It's perfect. So yeah, plug your socials. I don't know what socials you
Yes.
have.
And you can find me on TikTok, Instagram. Don't worry about Facebook. I'm not really on that for real, but TikTok and Instagram, Antwan Cook Official for both of them. ANTWANCOOK Official.
Nice, man. Well, I appreciate you for doing this. I hope I can do it again with you.
Dude, I'm
again
looking forward to it. Yeah,
It'd be so cool. And yeah, until next time. Thank you.
Yeah, I wasn't done. No, but no, for real, like real talk, I would love to, after this conversation, after this first one,
Yeah.
maybe like just say 2 or 3 months from now, like I would love to have that conversation after knowing what we talked about now, and just even how things gonna be different for you, things gonna be different for me. It's gonna be a forward movement to be able to get back on camera and say, you know what, remember that thing we talked about? I'm now in it, or I'm now doing like that's what I like about it.
Absolutely, and
Yeah.
even the change of like comfort and like the smoothness going through it.
Yeah.
Even like feeling throughout the interview, like I felt like this like keep hitting the microphone.
Yeah, I do too.
The discomfort and the comfort. And
Yeah.
I felt it throughout it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is going smooth. I'm like, oh, what do I do next? Oh, it's going, and so like
Riding the waves.
Yeah, exactly. 100% riding the waves. And I think they also ending it with if you want to be interviewed, interviewed normal. Well, if you're successful, if you know someone who's successful, if you know someone who's been a part of your life that's been a successful person, and you think they deserve a chance to be heard, email me, message me. I'll figure out my socials. To be honest, I'll have them linked in the description. Right now, I don't know what they are or which ones I want people to be sending things to, but they will be in the description. And thank you for being here, and Antwan, I appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir.
Hell yeah.
I appreciate you. Yeah, this is an opportunity. I don't take it lightly. I like to talk, but I don't really have that many opportunities to talk like this. So appreciate it.
Nah, you crushed it, man. You crushed
Yes,
it.
sir. Deuces. You hear me? No. Okay.